Hi, this is the question paper I was introduced to by one of my students from USA. This question paper is of a mathematics tournament, that is HMMT, which is Harvard MIT Mathematics Tournament. The question paper is of November 2021. It was held on November 13, 2021. It's a general round paper. This question paper consists 10 questions, and the questions are from several topics like number theory, geometry, calculus and all. The students actually really wanted me to discuss these questions with him in the class, and we did few of these questions because the questions are very hard. But after the class, I tried these questions. I contemplated on some of them, and one of the questions attracted me the most. The question is question number 7, and this question is from I can say the function or the composition of function, the inverse of function, or broadly saying from calculus. So I can put this question at JEE advanced level type of question. So the students who are preparing for JEE or JEE advanced or any such competition can give a try to this question. Even if you don't solve this question completely, believe me, while actually thinking how do we proceed to solve this question will be great fun. It will be great mathematical thrill. So if you in fact want to experience such kind of mathematical thrill, please join me in finding out the solution to this problem, because I know this is the problem you must try. Alright, so this is the question we have. The question simply says that there is a function defined from R to R, and the function is defined piecewise, in which the first part simply says that if x does not belong to this interval, means negative of cube root of 2 to 0, in that interval the function is, when x does not belong to that interval, then the function is defined like this. It simply means that when x is beyond 0, means above 0, and I can simply write it here that it is actually indicating negative infinity to negative 2 to the power 1 over 3, and closed interval union 0 to infinity. In that interval, function is defined in such a way. Otherwise, it is 0. And this is the function defined like that. And the question simply says that the sum of all the real numbers x for which this equation f to the 10, and f to the 10 simply means that there is a iteration of composition of fx with itself. How many times? 10 times. So f of fx simply means that f to the power 3x. So f to the power 10x means there is a 10 times iteration of f of f of f and so on. Alright, so this is the equation we have. When we solve this equation, we get some values of x, and those values of x are real numbers, and those real numbers, the sum of all those real numbers what we get from this equation after solving, can be written in this format: a plus b root c by d. So a plus b root c by d can be written for the sum of all the solutions from here, where a, b, c, d are integers and c is a square free number. So, and gcd, the greatest common divisor of a, b, d is 1. So it simply says that this a plus b root c by d is actually simplest form. If there is a no greatest common divisor of a, b, d, it means it is already in simplest form. And c is actually c is actually square free, so there is no square root of c. So it is also indicating that this whole irrational ratio or whatever it is actually in the simplest form. So we have to find 1000a plus 100b plus 10c plus d. This value we have to find out. It means anyhow we can find the value of x, all the values of x which can satisfy this equation, and we find the sum of them, and if the sum will look like that, we can simply compare these two expressions and get a, b, c and d. After getting this a, b, c and d, we can simply plug this these values there and we get the answer. So the one little temptation we will have, or we can have actually, that if it is asking the iteration of the composition of fx with itself 10 times, it simply indicates that somewhere I can find out f of fx is equal to x, then our work will be done. Why so? Because if I get f of fx is equal to x, it is easy to guess that what is f to the power 10x, means with the f of fx 10 times, and we can now equate the equation, that expression with 1, and we will have an equation. But also notice that if we have f of fx is equal to x, it means if we iterate fx with itself 10 times, we'll get x back, because when we do composition 2 times, we'll get x. So if we'll do the composition 10 times, we'll get x again back. And if I solve it, x is equal to 1, we will get only one solution. So there must be some hidden mystery, so we have to solve that. So first of all, let's confirm whether f of fx is equal to x is or not. So for that, let me write this function in a different way. We assume that y is equal to fx. Okay, if you assume y is equal to fx, because you see, if I do f of fx in this function itself, it is very complicated calculation, because there's a biquadratic and all, there's a square root and all. So if you just plug this function again back into this function at the place of x, of course you will get a very complicated situation to handle. So for that, we will just actually try to take a different route. So what we do, we simply assume y is equal to fx. It means I can assume y is equal to 1 divided by this whole thing, x squared plus square root of x to the power 4 plus 2x. And I am just rationalizing the denominator. For that, I am taking the conjugate of it to multiply and divide with it. So it will be x to the power 4 plus 2x and divide by the same quantity. And now we can simply write this y as this: y is equal to x squared minus x to the power 4 plus 2x, and in the denominator we will have x to the power 4, and this will give you the square root omitted. So what we get is x to the power 4 minus x to the power 4 plus 2x. So that will give you negative of 2x, because x to the power 4 and x to the power 4 will get cancelled. So this is the expression we have, and now let's make it implicit. So for that, I can write negative 2xy is equal to x squared minus square root of x to the power 4 plus 2x, and then I can write x to the power 4 plus 2x is equal to x squared plus 2xy the whole square. Okay, and this will actually, we can foresee that if I square it and we get that is x to the power 4, then 4x cubed y plus 4x squared y squared. So from here what we get is x to the power 4 and x to the power 4 cancelled, and we will have the equation like this: 4x cubed y plus 4x squared y minus 2x is equal to 0. Now you see, each term has an x, so we can take this x as a common factor also with 2. So we'll have now 2x squared y plus 2x, I think I've done a mistake here, this will be 2x squared y squared, so 2xy squared, and here that'll be 1. And now you see, x cannot be 0. Why so? Because you can see that x is actually saying that x does not belong to this interval, means 0 is not included. It means if x not equal to 0, the only possibility when these two factors product will be 0 if this term will be 0. So 2x squared plus 2xy squared, 2x squared y plus 2xy squared minus 1 is equal to 0, and that will give you x squared y plus xy squared is equal to half. And this is actually a symmetric equation in terms of x and y. What is the meaning of it? You notice that y was fx. It means if I solve it back for y, I should get this equation from where I have started. Correct or not? It should be. It means if I simply want to write y from here, I should write 1 divided by, and what was that? X squared plus x to the power 4 plus 2x, correct? It should be. But what will happen if I solve for x from here? Do you see that? Because the symmetry, you see that if you solve for y, you get that thing. So if you solve for x, x will be replaced with y, correct? So x, if you solve for x, you get that thing. What is that? Y squared plus y to the power 4 plus 2y. If you are not sure how this x can be written in this way, you can also do like that. Suppose this is a quadratic equation in x squared y plus xy squared minus half is equal to 0, you can consider, and this is a quadratic in x. So if you want to solve it, so it will be x is equal to negative of y squared, because the b value here, if you compare with ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, the b value will be y squared. So negative of y squared plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac. There will be y to the power 4 minus 4ac. So it is negative of 4 y, and this is negative sign here. It will make positive, so it will be 2y, and divided by 2a, so 2 times y. Okay, and if we take the positive sign here, I will get x is equal to negative of y squared plus square root of y to the power 4 plus 2y divided by 2y. And you can guess that it is the same from where we have started. Why so? Because if I multiply the numerator and denominator with a negative sign, I will get y squared minus y to the power 4 plus 2y divided by negative 2y. And this is exactly of this structure. You can notice x square minus square root of x to the power 4 plus 2x divided by negative 2x. So this is actually the function of y. So let's call it a gy. And what does it tell? It simply tells that the function fx has the inverse gx, correct or not? But notice gy is nothing but fy, because the same function. It simply means that fx, f and f inverse x are same. Fx is equal to f inverse x, and it confirms that f of fx is equal to x, correct? So if I have f of fx is equal to x, what we do now? We notice that f, if I iterate it 10 times, it will be x, and so this is given as 1. So I have one solution, that is x equals to 1 for sure. But there is some problem. Why so? Because it is asking that you have to find the sum of all the real solutions for this equation. And if there is only one solution, that is x equals to 1, there is no point of giving this structure, because of course a, b, c, d has some values. Otherwise there is no point of giving this structure as the sum of the solutions, correct? So there is another route, or there are some other routes as well. So we have to just identify what is an equivalent equation to this equation. So how do we confirm it? So for that, let's think in a different way. What is that? It is given that f10x is equal to 1. It is given, correct? It's the equation we have. So this equation is given, so can we find any equivalent equation to it? So how do we think in that direction? So here, can we write this way? f9x, and it is inside f to get 1. It means f of f9x is equal to 1. Can we write this thing as that? Sure. And here f9x can be written as f inverse 1, correct? Can I write like this? If I take this f side. And what is f9x? You got that f10x is equal to x. It means f 3 times if you do, you get fx back. So if you do 9 times iteration, you will get fx back, correct? So this should be fx, but you also notice that f inverse x is equal to fx. So either you find the value at f inverse of this value 1, or you find f1, you'll get the same answer, because fx and f inverse x are the same thing. So we can just write f1 there. It means we are solving f10x is equal to 1, or we are solving fx is equal to 1. These are their equivalent, correct? And one equation or the one root we have already found that is equals to 1. So maybe this will give you some other solution rather than 1, correct? So we'll just look for that thing. So what we have, fx is equal to f1. It means what we are doing, our fx originally was this function. So we are just writing that. So it will be 1 by x to the power 2 plus x to the power 4 plus 2x, and it is equal to the value of this function at 1. So it is going to be 1 divided by 1 plus root 3, correct? It should be. And now from here we have to solve for x. Okay, let's do it. So how do we do that? We can simply write it as x squared plus x to the power 4 plus 2x is equal to root 3 plus 1 by taking the reciprocal both inside. And now I want to get rid of this square root, so I will just keep this in one side, and I can write x squared minus square root of 3 plus 1 the whole square is equal to x to the power 4 plus 2x. Can I write like this? Yes, I can. And now we can just take the square of this two quantities. It means the difference of the two quantities will be what? X to the power 4 minus 2 x squared root 3 plus 1 and plus root 3 plus 1 the whole square. A square minus 2ab plus b square, and here x to the power 4 plus 2x will be as it is. So x to the power 4 and x to the power 4 will get cancelled, and it can be written in this way: 2x squared root 3 plus 1 and minus, sorry, not minus, plus 2x and minus root 3 plus 1 the whole square is equal to 0. Now you notice this is a quadratic equation. It means we are solving this equation. It means we are solving this quadratic equation, correct? And it is asking for the sum of all the roots this can possess. Now you notice x equals to 1 is already satisfied by it. Why so? Because if we have already started with fx is equal to f1, it means x equals to 1 must satisfy. You can also check it like that. If you just put x equals to 1 there, what will happen to 2 root 3 plus 1 and minus, sorry, plus 2, and this is minus, and we can square it. What will be value? Will be 3 plus 1 minus 2 root 3, and if you simplify, that will be 2 root 3 and plus 2 plus 2 4, and 4 and 4 will get cancelled, and also this will get cancelled. Is a plus, by the way, so it will be 0. It means this is already satisfied by x equals to 1, and this is a quadratic equation in x. It means there is only one more root, and that root, if we find, I can find the sum of the two roots. With 1 I can add the second root. But there is a better way. If there is a quadratic equation, we can simply find the sum of roots by taking the coefficients of x and x squared. What is that? Is the ratio of the coefficient of x to the coefficient of x squared with a negative sign. So we can simply write sum of roots or sum of solutions, and that is actually negative 2 by this 2 times root 3 plus 1, correct? And we have to only simplify to get the structure of that kind. What is that? A plus b root c divided by this kind of a structure. We need to write this thing in that way. So it will be what? Negative 1 divided by root 3 plus 1. So our prime motive It's just to rationalize the denominator. So it will be now actually negative. Okay, so it will be negative. Okay, so I can write positive 1 minus root 3, correct, divided by 3 minus 1, that is 2. And once we compare with this a plus b root c by d, what we get after comparing this thing with, so what we get, a is equal to 1, b is equal to negative 1, c is equal to root, not root 3 is 3, and d is equal to 2. And what we have to find, we have to find this thing, 1000a plus 100b plus 10c plus d. So all that we have to put these things there. So 1000a means 1000 plus 100 times b with a negative sign, it means minus 100. So it is a negative 100 there. And then 10c, that means 3 times 10, that is 30, and plus 2. So it will be 1000 minus 100, 900. So 930 plus 2, so it will be 932. And that should be our answer. I hope you understood this question. To solve this, we can go deeper and deeper by looking into the GeoGebra and all the graphic tools of this graph. If you are interested, you can just try to plot the graph of this function, and you will observe some more inner beauty of this function. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks.